Hi, this is Clara, and today I'm going to talk about picture books that encourage multiple perspectives. The first one is The Mysteries of Harrisburg by Chris van Allsburg. You may know of Chris van Allsburg from Jumanji or from The Polar Express. This is a book of little snippets of stories that are written as if there was a whole story there, but you only get under the rug. 2 weeks passed, and it happened again. What's the story happening there? I don't know. It's a little creepy. It provokes a lot of conversation about like what's happening in the stories, and like each person reading it can have different ideas about what is going on and what came before and what happens afterwards. So that's my first pick. The second one I'm going to talk about is The Obstinate Pen. This one shows a lot of multiple perspectives of how different people react to this very cheeky pen. Instead of writing whatever the writer wants it to write, this obstinate pen writes other things instead. Uncle Flood removed the cap from his pen and began to write, "The following story is all true." But the pen did not want to write that sentence. What the pen wrote was this: "You have a big nose." Various people get angry at the pen, are embarrassed by the pen, weep because of the pen, think the pen is hilarious, but the only one the pen allows to do what he wants is the little boy who wants to draw. So it's lots of fun. Another book that's a little bit scarier is Creepy Carrots. This book won a Caldecott honor, and it's not surprising. It's sort of a like film noir of picture books. Everything's black and white and orange. It's the story of Jasper, who eats carrots until the carrots decide to follow him. He thinks he sees the carrots behind him as he's brushing his teeth, but it's just the rubber duck and the shampoo and that washcloth. He tells his parents about it, and like every time he turns around, like it's just normal objects and there's no creepy carrots. And like throughout the whole book, it's like, are the carrots alive? Are the carrots coming to get him? I don't know. And there's a delightful and hilarious twist at the end. So it's really fun, and it's the sort of book where when small children are saying they want a scary story, this is the right kind of thing. The next couple books show stories where the main character embodies this sort of multiple perspectives where how they feel at one point is in conflict with how they feel at other times. So the first is Grandfather's Journey by Alan Say. It's the story of Alan Say's grandfather and his coming to America as a Japanese young man. So it's got these beautiful, gentle illustrations, all in watercolor. It's just beautiful, yeah? The heart of the book is where he's talking about every time he's in one country, he is homesick for the other, which I think is a really beautiful thing to have in a children's book. Something completely different, but has the same central conflict within oneself, is Oh No, George. The main character of Oh No, George is this dog who is struggling with self-control. Harry is going out. "Will you be good, George?" asks Harry. "Yes," says George. "I'll be very good." "I hope I'll be good," George thinks. George sees something in the kitchen. "It's cake!" "I said I'll be good," George thinks. "But I love cake." What will George do? Oh no, George! And the story continues in that manner. George is faced with a moral dilemma, fails to meet that moral dilemma. Oh no, George! Harry comes home and finds that the whole house has been wrecked. We get to the end of the story, and like George has new resolve, goes through the park and does not eat the stranger's cake, and does not chase the cat, and then he sees a big trash can full of garbage. And it's like, what will George do? George? And that's the end of the story. So we don't know whether George succumbs to temptation or whether he like holds on to his resolve to be good. Oh, it's delightful. David Macaulay, you might know from his book Castle or Cathedral. He does a lot of nonfiction for kids. But this story comes with a warning. This book appears to contain a number of stories that do not necessarily occur at the same time. Then again, it may contain only one story. In any event, careful inspection of both words and pictures is recommended. And so each spread has this like 4-segment layout where you can follow just the story in the like bottom left corner if you want, but like characters from one story. Like this guy's got the striped shirt. Oh, here's another guy with striped shirts over here. And like, oh, there's newspapers here, but there's also newspapers up there. So like, and the cows and this like robber guy over here. Like, it's really exciting, and it's really fun to read with sort of older kids who don't necessarily need to be read to anymore. There's a lot to dig into in this sort of a book. So this is Black and White by David Macaulay. The last book I'm mentioning is Fortunately, in which the narrator goes back and forth between determining it is a bad day or a good day. Fortunately, one day, Ned got a letter that said, "Please come to a surprise party." But unfortunately, the party was in Florida and he was in New York. Fortunately, a friend loaned him an airplane. Unfortunately, the motor exploded. Fortunately, there was a parachute in the airplane. Unfortunately, there was a hole in the parachute. Fortunately, there was a haystack on the ground. Unfortunately, there was a pitchfork in the haystack. Fortunately, he missed the pitchfork. Unfortunately, he missed the haystack. So every time something good happens, something bad happens immediately afterwards. And so it's a sort of a back and forth. Which perspective is going to win the day? And it's very delightful. So those are my books. I hope you enjoyed this, and let me know if you have books that you enjoy reading with kids or reading yourself that have multiple perspectives. Thanks. Bye.